What's a random statistic about yourself you'd love to know, but never will? How many killers I have talked to in my life? How many times my advice has actually helped the person asking? I'd like to know how many photos I'm in the background of. What percentage of my own history have I forgotten? To expand a bit, I do remember the games I played when I was young. Just not any real-life events before around 18 to 21, including family vacations, birthdays, you name it. My personal theory is that it may have something to do with never thinking about the past, only current problems or topics of interest in future scenarios. You know how you have to repeat something again and again to learn and remember it? That might be necessary for autobiographic memory as well. I think it'd be cool to know how many people's lives I've significantly impacted, positive or negative, and #X200B. I can think of a few people who have influenced my life who probably have no idea that I still think about them from time to time. Map discovery percentage. How often people thought of me. How many times I was near my future husband without knowing. We both grew up in the same city. My parents know his best friend's parents. We must have passed each other on festivals or played at the same park or gone shopping at the same time at some points in our lives. I'd like to see a complete list of all the songs I've had stuck in my head and the amount of time each one was stuck there. How many times was I near a buried treasure? How many times I've walked past someone that I've walked past before without realizing. I want to know how many people died as an indirect result of my actions. How many people have ever had a crush on me? How many times I've brightened someone's day. It might be interesting to see some sort of metric on how appreciated or unappreciated the gifts I've given over my lifetime have been. I used to write smut for a living, straight up. No bull garbage stroke books. I did okay at it. Which means that, presumably, a lot of people have masturbated to my stuff. I'd like to know how far into my writing career I became indirectly responsible for more orgasms through my writing than I was directly responsible for in person, both my own and other people's. The number of people who actually like me, as opposed to the number of people who just put up with me out of politeness. I assume the anxiety is real. How many times I've made someone happy. How many people have gotten off thinking of me. How many miles have I scrolled. How many tears I've shed over things that weren't worth my energy. How many people actually notice judge me during the school day. How many times have I nearly died without realizing how many other people I have killed in video games. How many people would miss me if I disappeared out of their life. How many miles my arms have moved while drumming. How many serial killers I have seen without knowing. How many people have laughed out loud to posts of mine on Reddit. The edits are just me adding more things to the list. How many freight trains I have seen in my life. I am a crazy train lover. Dogs petted in a lifetime. Gallons of alcohol consumed. How many girls were attracted to me and wanted me to ask them out. How many people were attracted to me physically. I doubt many, but it would be nice to know if it could be otherwise. How many people think of me in passing. I have a sharp memory, and I still remember details and birthdays of people I graduated with over 10 years ago. Oh hey, today's is Becky's birthday. Wonder how she's doing, overall. I would say I wasn't well liked in school, considering I have no friends left from there. So the thought of how often I pop into people's heads is interesting. Oh, this is weird. Norbeckle used to like this, or just things like that. How many people hate me? I wanna know what my 1 to 10 rating is. Like it just floats above people's head like this person thinks you're __. What percent gypsy I really am to shut my grandma up. How many times people were actually too busy to hang out. How many times I've caused a person to fundamentally question their beliefs. How many people have wanted to approach me but decided against it? How many guys have wanted to ask me out? More interesting, How many women have wanted to ask me out but thought I was completely straight because I did, and still do, enjoy the D. How many orgasms have been had inside me? I want to know how many people remember me after they've left me behind. How much of my horrible behavior and life choices is a product of my childhood and how much is just me? How much money I've spent on alcohol. How many psychopaths, sociopaths, future or present serial killers have I met or will meet? How many times I planned to talk to someone but ended up turning back without saying any word? How much money I've made pooping while at work. How many breads I've eaten in my life. If I added all the farts I've ever done into one long one, how long would it last? How far I'm to die for diabetes. I'm seriously worried about my health but too scared to try a change in my life. Opportunities lost due to low self-esteem this year. How many times I managed to insert a USB right side up on the first try. Reason for asking. I just almost accidentally killed a spider by running the tap and it made me wonder how many are lurking in the pipes that I don't get the chance to rescue. So how many animals I'll accidentally kill by the time I die? How much money I spent on fast food? How many people that actually like me? How many liters of cum I've ejaculated? How many people think I'm an idiot? How many people have secretly loved me, but never told me? How many pounds of mayonnaise I've eaten? How many hours I've spent listening music? All the last times I've seen people in my life. How many times I have genuinely made someone happy or had a positive impact on their lives. For each parallel universe, what I did different in that universe. How many changes in what areas. How they're different. Personality, life, health, the changes in their life and how they live. Ultimately, in each different universe, their level of happiness. One huge complex life spreadsheet across universes. How many times she thought about that thing I said. How many people I have seen that are now dead and #X200B. Amount of health like a video game. Health bar. So I could see how much damage certain things do and then I could tell if, for example, I got a terminal illness, my health would start to go down for no apparent reason and I could get a doctor to check it out before it got to serious. This would be so helpful, and if everyone had it, it could save billions of lives from things like cancer. How many houses I've driven past with people locked in the basement. How many liters of urine and kilogram of garbage I've excreted throughout my entire life. How many people I could have had a healthy, stable relationship with if I actually was aware of it and not blinded by my self-hate and depression. How many winning lottery tickets I've stood next to but never bought at various gas stations across the country. The KDR of my cells versus infections. How many times I've been close to death but didn't know it. I've been wanting to know exactly which human being I am this year. I read a shower thought a while back that went, at one point in the future after you die someone will say your name for the last time and it will never be spoken again. I wonder how long after. How many years before my name is spoken one last time only never be spoken again? Or is it months or even days? How many girls were actually into me without me realizing? How much times I've masturbated, smiley face. My OCD compels me to step exactly the same with both feet. I.e., if one foot steps on a crack, the other then has to step on a similar crack with the same part of the foot, etc. I'd be interested to know how close to 50-50 I've managed to stay. I hope when we die there's a stats and highlights screen for your whole life. How many chances I have to be happy in the future. I work at a smoke shop selling weed hardware and other paraphernalia. How many pounds of drugs have been smoked, ingested through hardware I have sold over the past 4 years. Year of death. If it was relatively near, I could prepare by getting life insurance on myself or my wife so that she is taken care of. If it was a lengthy period of time until then, I could prepare by investing to make sure that she was taken care of with that. How many times I've thought, fluff it, before doing something stupid. I swear one day it'll be the last thought I have. How many arguments I've seemingly lost, even though I was bloody right in the first place.